Tickets are now on sale for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and to celebrate, yesterday, Marvel released a few goodies, not a final trailer, but I'm going to talk about that. I think they're following, interestingly, Sony's Spider-Man No Way Home campaign very closely. Which again is very interesting. And I have a couple of, I think, really good takeaways from what's been released yesterday. Between they had a 1-minute trailer and a 30-second TV spot that have been making the rounds, and some nifty new posters. And we're going to break all that down. But first, let's talk about ticket sales. How are they doing? Because it's been 24 hours, and Fandango announced that it's the top-selling movie so far of the year, which conveniently gets No Way Home out of the comparison, and it is outselling the Batman. Although the Batman, as you might recall, had very weak ticket sales out of the gate, and it was a last-minute thing when the reviews came out. We were all like, "This movie's great!" That everybody started buying tickets at the last minute. And if you look at Doctor Strange, because now on Fandango you can see how many seats have been sold very easily. There are actually quite a bit of tickets left. It is doing better than the Batman. If you want to go on an evening, it's going to be hard at this point to get a seat, particularly on a premium screen. But even on a premium screen, if you're willing to go during the day, especially Friday during the day when most people are at school at work, if you can get out of that, whichever means you would like, you can get a really good seat still. So I think that the Batman opened at 134, but again sold very well at the last minute. Many of the shows were sold out when they actually played. And No Way Home opened at 260. So obviously it's going to be somewhere, I think, in between there. I would predict under 200 million. If it opens with a 2 in front of it, that's going to be pretty nice for Marvel. But I feel anywhere in there, that range, by the way, is excellent. And, pretty par for the course for a lot of Marvel movies, by the way. Not weak by any means. Not everything is a No Way Home. This is supposed to be, but I can tell you that while it's a very exciting movie with a great story, it doesn't have the nostalgia elements that No Way Home did, bringing back these fan favorite characters from not just 1, but 2 installments of a favorite character. You don't have that element here. It's basically a Scarlet Witch movie with important elements for the MCU going forward, which makes it a lot like Captain Marvel, which opened with 150 to 160. So if Wanda could open on par, I think that would be great. And Captain Marvel, of course, did get to $1 billion. Overseas is crucial. That's what really hurt the Batman. Overseas didn't show up the way domestic did. Domestic for the Batman is incredible, really, really strong. So Marvel's a little bit of a stronger brand, I think. It's in a little bit of a better place. So I think that overseas could end up delivering quite well for this movie. So that could help it considerably. But yeah, so I don't think it's going to be a No Way Home, but I think it's going to be a very big Marvel movie. No Way Home is technically a Marvel movie. No Way Home was upper echelon, for those like big game changers. And I think that this will do better than the first Doctor Strange. But it's going to be not quite at the level of some of the higher, it's not really an Avengers movie either. So it's interesting stuff. We'll see. How do you think it's going to do? Did you get your tickets yet? If not, why not? How many times do you plan to see it opening weekend? I'm very curious. Wanda stans are quite a group. I love you guys. I'm Team Witch too. But I have detected some misogynistic comments about Wanda. It's really a shame how female characters get treated, and just women in general. But I see that a little bit for Wanda as well, which is unfortunate, especially because WandaVision was such a successful show. Huge show. I believe the most successful Disney Plus show to date for Marvel. And yet, I think Loki was actually the most watched. But yeah. But anyway, it is still basically, even though it is technically a Doctor Strange movie, I think it should be treated as basically a female superhero movie. And so you have to put it up against Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman, stuff like that. All right, so let's take a look at these, tiny little trailers and TV spots and the posters. And my 2 biggest takeaways from this, I had like an epiphany. I was like, oh my God. Because Well, two. All right. So the first one, this is the one I'm less excited about. But as I said, I think Disney is adhering very closely to Spider-Man No Way Home's ad campaign, which, as you might recall, was extremely secretive. We knew all the big stuff. There were tons of leaks, but Sony refused to confirm it, which was maddening. Talk about Multiverse of Madness, but it was actually an incredibly savvy way to go because it kept people guessing. I remember a number of you were like, are you sure Toby and Andrew are in the movie? Andrew said he wasn't, and Sony won't show anything of him, so maybe he's not. So that really kept you guys guessing, just like they're doing here, where a number of you are like, are you sure Wanda's the villain? Because she seems like a good guy in these ads. It's very clever, very smart. It just keeps everybody, like, the lack of confirmation seems to be very effective. They're letting scoopers and fan speculation do a lot of the advertising for them. So if it works again, you'll see a lot of ad campaigns like this in the future. Which I think is a mixed bag. I do like me some character posters, and we never got character posters, even after the movie opened for Spider-Man No Way Home. So I hope we get some cool character posters at some point for Doctor Strange too. All right, so then this was my favorite epiphany. I was like, oh my God. So on the new official poster for the movie, you'll notice that you can finally really see Wanda's darkened fingers, which look a lot like Agatha. So apparently when you read the Darkhold, it stains not just your soul, but your fingers. Have you been reading the Darkhold? No, right? Hide your hands. But I think that that's very interesting. And then one of the new spots also really highlights her losing her children, which reminded me of the What If episode where what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? And in that case, it was Christine. Right? Maybe you're starting to see where I'm going with this. You have two incidents of dark magic overtaking the practitioner. So I think they're trying to put Wanda in that precarious group where you could go either way. And so if Doctor Strange and therefore Wanda are redeemable, you have to wonder, does that mean Agatha is redeemable too? Like, when you see how evil Wanda is in this movie, you're like, and Agatha just killed Sparky. That's horrible. Don't underestimate how upset people will be when you, violence to animals. So, I mean, considering the killing spree that Wanda's about to go on, does this, and she's going to say, it wasn't me, it was the Darkhold. Is that going to be Agatha's defense as well? She's getting her own series where perhaps they'll explore that, but it certainly makes things more complex. So really, really interesting. Also, stay away from practitioners of magic because they could have real bad days that you could get swept up in. But I just think that's fascinating. Now, of course, WandaVision dealt with loss itself. With the loss of vision and the loss of a dream of a happy life for Wanda, which was beautiful. So why is it that losing her children that sends her over the deep? Well, I mean, she kind of went over the deep end a little bit in WandaVision with what she did to Westview, but this is even further. But perhaps because Viz does keep coming back. She's like, I think somewhere deep down, and she was able to bring him back, but maybe she can't bring her children back. Although of course she also just created them. It's just, perhaps it's more complex, but it just reminds me a lot of what happened with Doctor Strange and the loss of Christine and how that sent him down a dark path. So I just think it's fascinating. I think it's setting up a way to redeem all these characters. Because, Marvel doesn't like to keep anybody a villain if they don't have to. All right, then I like the Dream. The spot is called Dream, and they have that great classic song. And Doctor Strange talks about how he has the same dream every night, and they overlap it with Wanda saying she has the same nightmare. And that tear in Wanda's eye, ooh, chef's kiss, Elizabeth Olsen. That's some fantastic acting, and why she's, Robert Downey Jr. did a special job of acting when he was Tony Stark, and it really elevated his movies and whichever Marvel movies he appeared in. And I think, Marvel likes to keep it light, so it seems to be up to the actor to give that depth. And I think we've noticed it in Oscar Isaac's performance as Moon Knight, and I think also Elizabeth Olsen very much so as the Scarlet Witch, as Wanda. So, but I think she's at that level. It's really, really fantastic. And I hope other actors perhaps take note that, if you do the work and you layer in a little bit of drama yourself, I think you could connect more with the audience than other MCU characters who usually connect over levels of hotness. Some of you said Marvel and their thirst traps. Hilarious. All right, so We have a couple of great new shots. We have her working with Wong. So that's one of the things that made some of you be like, is she a hero? What I think is the most hilarious about this shot is how clearly she's on wires. I mean, she might as well be like Mary Martin and Peter Pan in the way she's being swung around the set on wires. I'm like, I can tell that's wire work. I don't know, maybe she's going to turn on him in that scene. Sam Raimi admitted in an interview that there are multiple Wandas in this movie, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, you know, you're not sure what Wanda you're looking at in these trailers. And Sam Raimi said it out loud, so I can discuss it. But yeah, so there's that shot. I like that one. But my favorite is this one. This is one where Doctor Strange is trying to recruit her before the facade drops, as one of you eagle-eyed fans pointed out. That's actually they're not actually in an orchard. But she says, I need an Avenger. And he says, I'll get you back on the lunchbox. And I love that they cut to this shot because she looks like she's right on a lunchbox. It's the hero shot. I mean, and that also is confusing some of you. You're like, that's a hero shot. I mean, she looks fantastic. And I really feel she does look a lot like the comics. I mean, from the skirt creating the cape effect to the crown. I mean, finally, she, looks just like the comic book page. And I think that's fantastic. And it's also interesting to me because Wanda Scarlet Witch never really, was established very well in the comics. She's been certainly an important character, but even in her biggest storylines, she was not the main character. So I think that also makes her a great character for the MCU to play with because they can play with her. She's not so well defined that people are like, wait a minute, that's not the way it went. Because nobody totally knows the way it went because they've never really told a Scarlet Witch story from Scarlet Witch's perspective, which is fascinating. So anyway, I love this shot. I think she just looks so great there. I think it's really, really impressive. Then we have some other shots here. You can see a good shot of Christine Palmer. And I believe, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that this is like a prison for the Illuminati. And that's where they're getting different variants. And you can see America Chavez is being held there. You're going to see a lot of different variants. And, you're going to see Christine variants, I believe. All right. Then there's these two new shots of Doctor Strange variants. We've seen this guy before, but his third eye appears. That's fantastic. And then also this great shot of zombie Doctor Strange, who just looks really, really good. That's just really well done. I love both those shots. This is going to be so great. Benny C is going to act his heart out. He's also a very good actor, but I think his wig is distracting and keeps us from totally connecting with him sometimes. I think a lot of us are like, but why are you wearing a wig? Surely they could have gotten you a better wig than that. All right, so let's go to the first poster. This is the official new poster after the teaser poster that came out a few weeks ago. This is gorgeous. Again, very Agatha-esque. She does have thumb holes. Oh, Wanda, just when I thought I couldn't love you anymore. But yes, I mean, that's Agatha's look. Very similar to Agatha. She has, it's like you either die the hero or live long enough to become the villain. And now she already kind of was the villain a little bit, but now she's like really upgrading. So yeah, very Agatha-esque. Agatha is going to be like, I told you, maybe, see, come get me. So we'll see who's in Agatha's show. But anyway, love that. She looks so cool there. Looks great. I like Miss America there on the left, highlighting her powers with, you can see like the star kind of effect behind her. And then of course you have Wong, Mordo, and Christine, because it is technically a Doctor Strange movie. And I think it's important that people remember that. This isn't like a de facto Avengers movie. That's important to remember. This is Doctor Strange tip. They're not kidding you about that. Then in the next one, this is a Screen X poster. I like this one because of the multiple Doctor Stranges. And there's 5 there. Although they've been showing 3 Moon Knights, and I believe on the 4 episodes, there's only been 2 personalities, but I'll be curious to see what happens in the final 2 episodes. But we have seen like 3. I think that the zombie Doctor Strange seems to be Defender Strange, zombified. But so we've only really seen 3 Doctor Stranges, but they have 5 here for some reason. So that could just be a tease, or we'll see what happens. But very interesting. I love it. I wish the other ones were as different as Defender Strange. Have some fun with it, man. Have some fun with your variants. No one wants subtle variants. There's Wanda, of course, in the front, also looking fantastic. She does great hand movements, just like Doctor Strange. I love it. And then again, you have the other characters that, that are, it's the exact same shot even. They've just photoshopped them into this poster, which I think is great. And then the final poster is a real D poster. And you can see, I like this one because it has multiples of everyone, particularly only one Wanda, but, multiple Wandas in the movie. Expect multiple Doctor Stranges and multiple Christines. And only one America Chavez, which is very important because she is a dimension. She's a universe hopper. She goes from universe to universe, literally punching her way through. So I think these are great teases. I think it's a very well-run campaign. And again, I think they've taken considerable notes from No Way Home. So what do you think of these new secretive campaigns? What do you think of them keeping you guessing? And do you have your tickets yet? And what are your favorite new shots from what they've revealed? And also, what do you think of, maybe Agatha being redeemable if you can make Wanda and Strange redeemable as well? Share those thoughts down below. Thank you for going over all of this with me. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.